Welcome, welcome, welcome to We Are Soccer, the greatest soccer show this side of the internet. All right, appreciate you guys joining us. Lots to talk about this week. We've got Arsenal versus Liverpool. What a game that was. We've got Der Klassiker, Dortmund versus München. We've got Messi says he's out after Qatar 2022. He will not be at World Cup 2026, which is very unfortunate for us. Football's rich list. We can find out who the richest footballers are, and we'll talk about it. Do they deserve to be the richest? And Ronaldo hits a milestone again. He hits 700 career club goals. What an amazing feat. Again, really appreciate you guys joining us. Do us a huge favor. A huge, huge favor if you could. Give this video a like and then leave a comment. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, and let us know what you want us to talk about. You got 2 hours of We Are Soccer. Now, it's not just me hanging out here in the studio. I've got two friends that like to join in. Why don't we visit them at the kids' table? All right, boys, are we ready?
I've got friends in low places.
Nate, are you drinking beer on the set? Okay, that's cool. Yeah, it's Sunday night.
Did I get caught?
Caught.
Well, I haven't had a beer since the last time I had a beer. No, I haven't had a beer in quite some time, I think, as you know, and as some people close to me really, really know. It's been quite some time since I've actually had a beer. So I'm kind of splurging, splashing a little bit. As soon as I find a bottle opener, we're going to get to it.
Yes.
We'll get one. We'll find one.
But there are twist tops. Oh, look, you have one.
I definitely have one. You never leave home without one.
Wow. Apparently. Amateur hour over here at the kids' table.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, I don't want to throw it. It's a knife.
Yeah, come on, I got it.
You ready?
It's either going to stick in me or... Yes! Hell yeah, baby!
It's a party over here.
It is.
At We Are Soccer. As you can see, we're having a little fun. We're celebrating. I don't know what we're celebrating. Life, soccer, whatever it is. We're talking about it. Brooks.
Yes.
Brooks, my friend. How was your weekend? Been all right?
Yeah, busy watching soccer matches. So that with us watching, how many watched a few yesterday. Watched a college game this week in the middle of the week. UDM played Western Michigan, so Western Michigan's still on their roll. Oh, nice. Congrats to Chad Wiseman and the Broncos. I think they drew today against Northern Illinois, but way to go for the Western Michigan Broncos. And then UDM getting a win against Northern Kentucky. I didn't go to that match on Saturday night, but they did. They won. And let's give a shout-out to Craig, our Michigan State Spartan women's soccer team, who beat Michigan. So that is a sweep for the Spartans, the men's and women's soccer programs against the Wolverines. So.
You're right. I think that deserves a We Are Soccer clap.
Yes.
Well done. Well done. Michigan State sweeping the men and the women soccer over our arch rivals at Michigan. So well done there. Brooks, I also know with all the games you watched this weekend, you also managed to make it out to an old man soccer game.
I did.
This morning that happened at Wrexham.
I did.
Right here in Michigan. And I think all three of us were in the same facility. Yeah. Nate didn't come away too happy there.
How many goals were scored when I was on the field?
Not sure. I wasn't counting.
Brooks, you're a statistician. You're my man. Don't lie. How many goals happened when Nate was on the field? How many goals were scored?
One?
Nope.
Oh, there's none. I didn't see the first one. That's
Zero.
why.
How many goals were scored when Nate was on the field?
Off the field, you mean?
On the field.
Oh,
for my team.
I don't know. 1?
2.
There you go. Well, let's give you an update there. My team won 4-2. That's old man soccer. No one's interested. It was a good game. I am still sore. It happens. All right, let's jump in. Lots to talk about. EPL this weekend. Big game. Some real fun games. That Arsenal-Liverpool game. Whew! Oh, man. That was fun. First minute, Martinelli scores. Makes it 1-0. Liverpool is struggling. Liverpool are in trouble right now. They cannot seem to find a win and a form of play to save their lives. What do you guys think? Are they going to make the Champions League next year? Are they going to finish in the top 4 for that Champions League spot? Or are they going to finish out of it? Because at this point, they got a lot of work to do. They're just not clicking along. And Arsenal are humming along, unbelievably humming along. I'm telling you right now, that team, the way Arteta has them playing, they're fluid, they're creative, they're fun, free thinking. They got no weight on their shoulders. I do not think they will finish outside of the top 3 this year. You heard it here. I do not think they'll finish first. Arsenal fans, and I know a lot of Arsenal fans, and you're all thinking the same thing I am. They're good. We're great. But Man City is the class of the Premiership, as we know. They will finish first. Arsenal will finish second or third. I think, I don't want to say guarantee, but they damn well could. They are a good squad, and with young players, man. Such young players. So fun to watch play. It is fun to watch young, creative players who do not have the pressure on their shoulders. They just go out and play and go at it. So fun. What a game. That, for me, was game of the weekend. I also watched today, I watched the Leeds Crystal Palace game. That game, Leeds, for the first 25 minutes, they were a great team. They really like to go and play. And then they went up 1-0, and then they couldn't finish a second one, and Crystal Palace went down and scored, and then it was a tale of pretty much 2 halves. Crystal Palace took it to them and finished 2-1, but a real good game. We'll get to that in a little bit. All right, boys, I can see you're pouring your beers. Well done. Maybe we need to do a cheers.
A lot of fun, man.
Prost. Cheers. Thank you, Nate, for the German beer here and the beer steins.
There you go.
Appreciate it.
Remember when we used to do this all the time? And then I did weird shit.
Yeah, then you kind of ruined. No. All right, did any thoughts on that Arsenal game and what I said? Arsenal, right now, class of the Premiership, they are humming along. And Pep Guardiola did come out this week. He came out and said, listen, he goes, we've been playing really well, but Arsenal right now deserve to be where they are. They're playing better. They are a better team than we are. And I think everybody in the world right now thinks that Man City is the best team in the world. That's just my thoughts.
I don't think they're the best team in the world, but...
Who do you think is the best team in the world right now, Nate?
Hotspot. Hotspot? I think when Nagelsmann gets fired, maybe Munich will be the best team in the world. We'll get on that later.
We'll get to that.
But I mean, don't get me wrong. City's good. They're gonna win the league. Sorry. And now basically the Premier League's now a Farms League. It's great.
The Premier League is a farm league.
Yeah,
it's
a one-team league like all the other big leagues.
Oh, so
my
word!
It's cool. No, that's what it is now, and I'm happy. And it looks like Munich will win the Champions League as predicted. Freiburg will win their Europa, and Union Berlin will win the Bundesliga.
I don't.
Hey!
I think you've had too much to drink. I think Man City are going to win everything this year. Yep. We got to write these predictions down because oh my.
So which one don't you like?
I'm sorry that you said Union Berlin is going to win the Bundesliga, correct? That's the one you said?
They're number 1 right now.
After 9 matches, they are number 1.
They
that
are
is
the best
correct.
defense. So it's the same. So now hold on. So you're going to shit on my Union Berlin, but then praise Arsenal, who are how many matches in number 1?
I think there's a difference between Arsenal and Union Berlin.
Okay, what's
Union Berlin?
Hold on. What's the difference?
I'll let you go. Yeah.
What's the difference between the two? Both teams are not. Now, if you're going to tell me that they're wait a minute, we're early on, then I'm going to say the same thing about Arsenal. Right?
Oh, no,
but the only difference is Union took away points by already playing last year's league winners, München, didn't they? So it's a little bit different because Arsenal has yet to play City. So München already played the best teams, some of the best teams in the league, and actually took points away from them. So give them some props.
My prediction was Arsenal finish top 3, not win the league. Man City come back and win the league. For me, they are the best team in the world. Now, we're talking Champions League. München have played very well. Bayern Munich have played extremely well. They've gotten the job done there. They've gone about their business. So have Man City. I think those are the 2 best teams in the world. Based on their form and the way they're playing, I think right now Man City top them. But who knows, in a couple weeks when things slip up.
Munich is a juggernaut in the Champions League right now.
I agreed. One thing they don't have is the man beast who cannot stop scoring. This guy scores in his sleep. Haaland scored again this weekend, and the amount of goals this man scores is crazy. He, I think, could be the difference maker compared to years past where City have failed.
Over under, does he make it to the end of the year without getting injured?
Without getting injured
And being out like 4, 5, 6, 7 games when they need him most.
I'll take the over. I think he does. I think he does make it through the year. He will be rested, in my opinion. He will take rests. He will. He ain't going to Stoke on a rainy Tuesday night. He'll in the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup. He's going to be rested there.
Well,
but so far he's played everything. I didn't expect him to play the other week, and he played and he put 90 minutes under his belt.
And that's the problem. That's I wonder if he's not going to get burned out towards the end of the year. I will say this though: his saving grace is he's not playing in the World Cup.
Yeah, 'cause Norway didn't make it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yep.
That's what we spoke about last week.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yep.
Absolutely 100% nailed it. He does have about a 4 to 6 week rest that he will be able to take, and that is going to be crucial. Actually, speaking of last week, Nate, I'd like to chat about what happened with you last week. You were not on the show.
Yeah.
You took a small break away for some family time and a bodybuilding competition, correct?
Yeah.
Well, I think we did it last week. We're going to do it again. It's a We Are Soccer round of applause for Nate, finishing second, and third in the various categories you
not
picked
good
for.
enough. I should have went.
I
first.
wouldn't say
I
that.
wanted to be first. If you're not first, you're last. That's how it goes.
There's nothing to be ashamed of with what you did, man.
Well, I got
It's
below
awesome.
3% body fat.
Wow.
So
That's
on Friday,
nutty.
I jumped on the scale and I was 3%. That was before water depleting, not eating, and all, and. So I was probably around like 2% body fat. I gotta post the pictures, all of them. It was close. I was definitely the most shredded guy there, and I owe a ton of that to my coach, Jeremy DeSantos from Gifted Performance. And if you're not, shameless plug.
Sure.
Yeah, go for it.
He's a good guy.
Good.
He does guys like weirdos like me who want to do bodybuilding, but he also does like just normal people who want to have a lifestyle coach that for eating and dietary needs and stuff like that. And if you're someone who has extra pounds and want to get on a reasonable, I don't even call it a diet, just way of living, he is the guy to get a contact with. And if you're maybe even an athlete too who wants to, get better nutrition advice, that's what he does. He's a Michigan State graduate.
There you go.
Ooh, go green.
And,
What's his name and company again, Nate?
Gifted Performance is the company, but Jeremy DeSantos is his specific name. And he's still out of Lansing, but you don't need to be in Lansing. He has clients all over the world, and the guy's great. The thing I asked him basically when I went to him was, can you make me better than my first competition? He said, absolutely. And for sure, I was better than my first competition. So from that standpoint, my look and what I did, and it was a lot less stressful than the last competition, and it was because of him. So shouts out, I guess. And if you're whether you're an adult, whether you're a player, you can do, he does what he calls lifestyle coaching, lifestyle dietary stuff, and he can write out programs for you. You don't have to do weirdo things like I do, but I shouldn't say it like that, but you don't have to get down to like 3%, and he loves what he does. He's one of those guys who absolutely, when you talk to him, he's one of those jerks who has a job that he actually likes. And
Don't we all want that?
And it shows through, and you can tell, and especially with working with me, like I could definitely tell. So.
All right. Well, good,
all.
man. That's awesome. Sounds like a good dude, and well done on the competition, buddy.
Thank you.
Awesome stuff.
And
We
now
all
I'll
have.
drink and eat real food.
Yeah. Now you can eat real food and drink beer. We all have extracurricular stuff we do outside of We Are
Jeremy.
Soccer.
We do. A lot of stuff.
We do. We have a lot of things. All right, let's jump in
A lot of things.
back into EPL. There was a lot going on this weekend, a lot to talk about.
Seagulls.
Yeah, there's our boy.
They
Yeah,
beat
yeah.
Tottenham?
They did not.
Ah!
Beat Tottenham. No.
I know.
Graham Potterless.
I know.
Seagulls. They did not. They lost 1-0 to Tottenham. Harry Kane scored, and I believe that is 12 goals in 12 EPL matches that he has played now. He is on a tear. Harry Kane cannot stop scoring. He is finding his form. Perfectly finding his form. We just need to wrap him up in bubble wrap for about a month, maybe 6 weeks more. Actually, 42 days. 42 days, because that's when the World Cup kicks off, and that's when England's going to need it most.
Yeah, you guys are in trouble. Huh?
Harry Kane, stay healthy. That's all we need. Just stay healthy. Actually, before we jump back into EPL, we're going to jump in and out. I don't know, we're jumping. The Arsenal-Liverpool game. Michael Tyson Online just asked about that penalty kick that was a little soft.
I saw that.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little soft.
He shouldn't have stuck his foot out. He caught him. I mean, come on.
Studs up.
He caught
man.
him. Studs up. He caught him.
He caught him. Studs were up.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to break legs with that.
Exactly.
You're not breaking legs with that tackle, but
he didn't have to do
kick
that.
The ball and another, studs come in from the side. It was just careless play.
Yeah.
It was absolutely careless play. If it was in the other box and the shoe was on the other foot, if Liverpool was hoping to get a win and that happened on the other side, Liverpool fans would be saying the same thing, right? Yep. Oh, it's a penalty. For sure it's a penalty. But it didn't happen to Arsenal. I was going to say, and VAR actually looked at it, but no one gives a shit about VAR because, fuck me, man. We're all sick and tired of VAR.
That's because the EPL doesn't know how to use VAR.
No, they get confused.
Yeah, I think we discussed that.
The rest of the world knows how to use it.
MLS and Bundesliga are the kings of VAR.
Yeah. We should come up with alternative names for VAR. Like, what does it really stand for? Like, what does
Virtual
VAR...
assistant referee.
Well, no, we know what it actually stands for, Brooks. I mean, I'm not dumb, but what should it stand for? Because it is terrible, and EPL does not use it correctly. But
violent assistance something?
Violence assistant.
I don't know.
Regal. I don't know. I got nothing. Other games that did happen this weekend: Bournemouth 2, Leicester City 1. Oh my, Leicester City, and the pressure keeps piling on. They are dead last, and Brendan Rodgers. Oh boy, he could be out of a job real quick. I don't think he's even going to make it to the World Cup break. He could be gone. He has had a pretty good spell over there at Leicester City, but this season is anything but good. It is absolutely horrendous. He seems to have lost that team altogether. They made some big changes this year to the playing personnel. It has not worked out well for him.
No. By the way, the Las Vegas Knights owner was there, the guy Foley that wants to buy Bournemouth. He was in the stands as well.
Oh,
another American coming in England.
Another American.
They're invading England, Craig. What's going to happen?
So the interesting thing is the EPL is, I believe is there 10 or more American owners. Chelsea, Arsenal. There was another London club that was owned by an American.
Liverpool is. Well, they're not London, but I'm just saying
Liverpool
is.
Aston Villa is part ownership American.
Yeah.
But I believe there's
Is Tottenham American owned?
No.
Okay.
They're not. There is another London club that's owned American. It's skipping my mind.
I mean, you got like 4 or 5 Italian clubs now that in Serie A and B that are owned by Americans as well. So
it's crazy. But here's the thing: in order for new items to be put on the table in the Premiership, such as an All-Star game.
Yeah, check out our video, by the way.
Yeah, check out the video.
Nate had a lot to say about that.
But if you want to nominate an idea like an All-Star game, you put it on the table for the owners of the EPL teams to vote on. So, think about this. The majority of English Premier League teams are now owned by Americans. American sports owners like All-Star games and events because it brings people to their stadiums.
Extra money.
That's
why Bowley was saying.
You know what they do not like? Promotion and relegation.
Correct.
So someone could put on the table to get rid of promotion and relegation, and all it would take with them to get rid of it is the voting.
Yes.
So all the American owners could come together and vote on it. I do not think this will happen. I really don't think it'll happen. But
will the FA let them do that? I don't think the FA will.
The English Premier League is a league on its own, essentially. They could absolutely make that happen. there would be a lot of rings to jump through, a lot of hoops to jump through, and a lot of court systems to get through, and a lot of rigmarole. But it could be put on the table and it could be voted on, and it's just terrible to think about that, to be honest. If you really think about the amount of American owners that own Premier League teams, it's just crazy. Speaking of American owners, the three of us, we all like Wrexham. We all like Wrexham AFC, right?
Yeah.
We're big fans of Welcome to Wrexham.
I love the show.
Yeah. Do not tell me you do not like the team after what we just... No.
I love the show.
Yep.
Yes.
What?
Oh, jeez.
Aren't they doing, though, and I don't want to give it away for those who haven't watched it, so I won't get deep into it. I think I'll let it mature a little bit, and we can talk about it later. But aren't they doing exactly like what every basically soccer group is doing that we just criticize the hell out of?
Sure, they come and buy a team, they throw more money in so they can move up. But the problem is the difference is though
I don't want to give things away.
But the difference is though is they're not pros yet. They're like Ryan
they're all paid.
They're paid, but
They're
Ryan Reynolds and
pros.
Rob McElhenney decided to do one at the top of like of the amateur league, so then they can move up.
What episode are you on?
Oh, I've watched
all of them.
Oh yeah.
So you know what I'm talking about when I mean like the latter episodes where they and they're just they're basically tossing money at the problem.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between them and like any oil oligarch or any of these other guys that just push their way and?
I don't think they have oil money where
they have every other money. They have movie money with.
I don't think movie money is the same as oil money.
Hold on. You're telling me that TikTok and Expedia just love the idea of Wrexham Wales League, and they were just like, yeah, we'll throw money in it. Or did they do that because they knew that this team was going to be on Hulu and owned by who it's owned by?
But everyone doesn't use TikTok and everything like oil is used in everyday life.
But they're throwing money at the thing, and they're getting the sponsors based off of who they are. They're no different than anyone else. They're no different than Newcastle. They're absolutely no different than Newcastle.
I agree, but if Ryan Reynolds and
Ryan...
No, hold on.
So we're done. So we're done.
No, I'm making my point.
Right.
I am making my point.
That I'm right? Thank you. Let the record stand. Did he say that I agree? You never
we do not let the record stand. I was making my point.
That you agree with me. Got it. Or no, go ahead.
The owners that own all these EPL teams are nothing like Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. Who the fuck ever heard of Todd Bowley or whoever before he bought the damn team? I didn't know anything. If an actor or someone like that comes and buys a team, of course their merchandise is going to be sold more because people have more of a following and more of a connection with actors and people that do TV shows and movies.
Now, I don't hate on Wrexham. I like Wrexham. I actually love the show. The show's fantastic. It's my top 3, I'd say top 4 sports docu-series or documentaries.
Which we will do as a topic at some point in the next couple of weeks.
So don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on it. Yeah. And I love it. It's great. But it's kind of, isn't this part of the problem of like modern day football?
But this is what sports is.
Not in Germany. 50+1. You can't do that. And this is what everyone criticizes that. MLS doesn't operate that way, does it?
No, but rich people come in, but it's a long-term investment play.
Yeah, it's a long-term.
But you're capped off at a certain thing.
Yes.
If we all had salary caps for every league, we'd be talking a whole different story.
Bundesliga does.
That's why I appreciate the Bundesliga.
No, I'm just saying, but isn't this not part of the problem?
It is a part of the problem.
Why FIFA Financial Fair Play was brought in and is kind of crap and broken.
It is.
And everyone complains about it because of things like this.
FIFA
because essentially
financial fair play is absolute shit.
Because it would be breaking every financial fair play rule that ever existed with the league that they're operating in if there was anything actually operating within it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because and again, I don't want to give it away for people who haven't watched it, but there is specific scenes where you know exactly what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know, where this money is just being dumped in. Now, again, great. You know what? Actually, I'm rooting for them to get out, and that's fantastic,
Yeah.
you know. But it's kind of, I'm watching it, and when I saw that episode, this particular one that I won't get into because I don't want to spoil it, I was just like, well, wait a minute, what's the difference between this and like obscene amount of contracts that are being signed for other players? Am I wrong? Or, you know, like...
The problem is every day, and you see, and you start to see this in MLS, though, is no one wants to wait around to develop players in your youth system. I mean, I don't know if Wrexham even has a youth system. They don't even talk about that.
You know, that would be a...
But, like, the problem is no one wants to take the long route and develop players and bring them in because that costs money. It's easier to invest in players that are already in the pro game, whether you're bringing them into an EPL team or a National League team that have had experience at the pro level, and for them to make a difference, for them to move up, and then the club to get more money. So that's always been the thing. When you own a team, it's a give and take between, are you going to do it what people perceive as the more natural way, which is you have an academy system, you bring them up, you spend some money, you have time to develop your player and team. But that's the problem, is coaches don't have time anymore. We've talked about this before.
To bring it back to like, everyone's like, well, what's your problem, Nate, right? Okay, I watch the Premier League, I watch a bunch of stuff. I like Wrexham. But then the criticism that the Bundesliga gets, because they don't operate that way, and they actually operate correctly.
They do. Look at how many of the young players all the other clubs across the world buy.
Yeah.
And look what they do with the EPL quote unquote rejects, like a Jude Bellingham or a Jadon Sancho.
Jude Bellingham is going to make buku dollars, probably going to play for Liverpool.
Exactly.
In the future. Yeah.
And no EPL team wanted to sign him and do anything.
Hold tight on that conversation. I do have information.
Jude Bellingham, he's been captaining this whole time.
No, absolutely. Jude Bellingham was signed for £25 million from Birmingham City.
Yeah.
There were teams who wanted him. He wanted to go to Dortmund because he's seen how good that club develops younger players.
Yeah.
Trust me, brilliant move for him.
Do you blame him?
No, absolutely not.
He knew he was going to get playing time. That's why. You know you're going to get playing time when you make the move.
2 years after making that move, he's a captain on the team.
I agree. And I always thought Phil Foden should have got the hell out of Man City and went somewhere, but he stayed the course, and he stayed with Pep, and now he's getting playing time. I actually wanted him for a long time for like New York NYCFC to get him on loan, to be honest with you. That was my dream, to see if he play in the MLS for a year or two, because he was getting no playing time in Man City.
With Bellingham, he definitely was on the radar of a lot of clubs and held on and he held off on moving, and then Dortmund came in and it was a £25 million transaction. So yes, I 100% agree with you, Nate. Listen, great place to go and play in the Bundesliga, absolutely. Again, we shouldn't debate this because it's just a different league, right, than the Premiership. It's just different, and we can go back to the Wrexham stuff. Yeah, they're buying the best players. They're convincing players and managers and people from above leagues to come back down by throwing money at it. They have said this is a business, and their goal is to get to the Premiership. Yeah. That's their thing. Good for them. It's great entertainment for us. All right, one little piece of news while we're talking about Wrexham. One of our We Are Soccer Facebook group members slid into my DMs today, and he may have said that he heard Ryan Reynolds was having a conversation with Matthew McConaughey, who owns Austin FC.
But didn't Austin FC sign a deal with Ajax?
They did, but they were in conversations about having a friendly match. How cool would that be?
In Austin?
I would say
I'd be flying. We'd be flying somewhere.
Yeah,
the We Are Soccer group would be flying somewhere to watch.
To visit my little brother in Austin.
That's if it's in Austin.
Where would it be?
I don't know. Could be anywhere.
Why would it be if it's Austin FC? Why don't they use the beautiful Austin FC stadium, by the way, which is a wonderful stadium?
I think they would, and it'd be good promotion for Wrexham to go play.
If you think about it, they could. Wrexham AFC right now could come and play a friendly anywhere in the United States, and I think that match would sell.
I think DCFC should do a friendly against them.
Yeah, that was one of the things. That was one of the things as well, saying maybe DCFC should reach out. We might have to touch base with DCFC.
I would imagine that if they came here to this state to do probably a mini tour like everyone else, they'd probably hit up a couple of MLS stadiums. They'd probably hit East West coach and something central. I mean, that's what you got to do, right?
And the timing will work out very well because AFC plays from essentially August to May, and the summer season of MLS, they could fit that right in perfect.
They could do it during the World Cup break.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, in the warmer areas.
Yeah.
Those players, no offense to the Wrexham players, they ain't going to the World Cup that I know of.
No, they're not. Not even close.
And there's plenty of MLS players that are kicking around.
Is the National League the same way though? Do they take a break?
I would assume so, that they got a break. Would they not? They follow the regular schedule, right?
Yeah, they follow the regular league schedule.
Okay.
Yeah.
I should know if it's not.
No.
I should know if it's not a pro.
Do they National League goes on the break? Do they go on the
Do they do the same as the pro league?
Yeah. Or do they play through?
Oh, great question. I
That is a
actually
good
don't know.
question.
Because it's not a pro
can
league.
answer that
It's
right
an
now.
adult.
That's a great
it's a high
question.
level adult
I do
amateur
not know.
league.
I'm going to actually
That is a great question. But how cool would that be if Wrexham AFC came over here and played? And most likely would be in Austin, but it could be anywhere. And I'm going to guess.
No, they're playing straight through.
Oh, they're playing straight through,
Same.
huh?
Straight
All right.
Yeah,
that is
that's what I
interesting.
thought.
So no World Cup break for I'm going to guess.
They play a lot of games. I mean,
Yep.
they're getting like 90-some
Anything
points
below
at the end of the
ESL,
season.
yeah.
Yeah, no, they're playing straight
They're playing
through.
more games than championship teams do.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Plus, they're playing cup competitions and all the other
It
two
also
things they
it
have.
also depends how far they go in the cup, but as a lower level team, you're
Yeah.
not going to get once you get to play obviously Premiership teams or EFL teams, you're going to get knocked out. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. So no World Cup break for
No, not according to their
Nations
schedule.
League?
Nope.
Okay.
They're playing straight through.
Yeah, interesting. All right. Did you guys happen to see that Captain America, Christian Pulisic, started and scored yesterday in Chelsea's 3-1 win at Stamford Bridge over Wolves? About time he started. About time because he needs time on the field. We need him playing. We need him doing what he does. He looked like he was happy. He looked like he was doing all right. Good goal. Good win for Chelsea over Wolves. That's all I really got. So, yeah, it's good to see, though, right? I mean, we need him with minutes under his belt.
I mean, I think this goes back to the question that Brian Dunstead brought up like a week and a half ago. I think at the club level, Christian Pulisic is not a superstar. I don't think he's the guy you rely on like a Ronaldo or that's going to score you goals and win you games. I think he's more a facilitator.
I think
It's like he's got two different roles. Like when he's with the U.S. national team, it's facilitator, but he needs to come up with big moments. Whereas I don't think he's as heavily relied on within the club game to produce all the time. Like he needs to be effective in the game, but he doesn't have to produce. But if I think he got to the right team, not Chelsea, someone else, maybe like we talked about, like Juventus, AC Milan, some league that suited more of his style, maybe back to the Bundesliga where he's getting goals and assists. Maybe that would be better for him in his career.
Definitely not a superstar at Chelsea, but he is a star in my opinion. And yes, if he were to leave the Premiership, he'd probably go to any other league in the world and be an absolute superstar and stud. He is a star. He is one of the top players. He's the most well-known American player I think that we have. I think we can agree on that. Is there any other American player that's out there that we think is more well-known than the number, the U.S. men's national team 10 striker?
At this point, no, but I think Aronson will be.
Absolutely. Aronson is coming along. Man. He is coming along. He played
McKennie
very well
has,
today again.
but McKennie's not because he's not he's a very physical defensive midfielder that can occasionally you can play through and he can connect the game, but that's not his playing style.
Is Dest maybe a more well-known American player? I mean,
people know him because of Barcelona.
Don't just think of here in America, though, right? I mean, we're thinking about.
Well, that's what I
Europe.
mean, and that's why I said Aronson because he's doing things right now for Leeds where it's really, really catching notice over there.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what they called him. They nicknamed him something that did the dribble, something messy with the town he was from.
Medford Messi.
Yeah, Medford Messi.
He's from Medford, New Jersey.
Him now.
Love that
So,
nickname, by the way.
yeah,
Yes.
so
Messi.
he keeps performing for Leeds and starting for Leeds, and his name and market value is just going up, I think.
I mean, could we say Gio Reyna when he's healthy?
Not
I
yet.
think he is almost just as effective as Pulisic when he is 100%
Effectiveness,
healthy.
yeah, absolutely. I think so when he's healthy, but right now we're kind of just talking,
But he
who's
needs
more well
to.
known.
He needs to go to a bigger league, and I say this as a Bundesliga fan. Yes, he's on Dortmund, and that's great, and they're going to play Champions League, and that's great. But I think he needs to make that jump to a bigger league if he's going to have his name up there with Pulisic and Anderson.
And that's a great point, Nate. I think he does need to jump to a bigger, I don't want to say better, but bigger league, more income, right? But I don't see a club anywhere in the world willing to take a chance on him right now because
Well, yeah, he's got to stay healthy.
He can't play more than 60 minutes without getting hurt or
Yep.
pulling a muscle.
Yep.
Damn thigh muscles keep going out on him. So
see, I find it interesting that we look at Americans, if they don't play in a bigger league, they're not, we don't perceive them as this big superstar. But it's different. Like, would you say that for a German player?
Would you say that for a Brazilian player?
I think if they played in the Brazilian league and they were,
Nah.
or if they ended up in, a
Nah.
lot of them ended up in Serie A too, and they have good careers.
Here's the problem with comparing Germany. It's just because it's different there, and these teams do play in the Champions League. They play high level, and.
But are you gonna like
Hummels
Hummels' whole career's been in the Bundesliga, hasn't it?
And some of that was with Munich that won the Champions League. Yes.
But he's still just played in the Bundesliga his whole
But
career.
when you're winning the Champions League, when you're winning the best league in Europe,
Kimmich hasn't left. I would consider him a top player for the
when you're
German
winning-
national
when
team.
you're winning the best league in Germany,
But Dortmund's
Or
one of the
in
best teams
Europe.
in Germany.
no, they're not right now.
I would say they're one of the best
They're-
clubs in Germany. I'm not talking about
Yeah,
now, but
they've
just
been-
you talk
yeah.
about overall. If
And
you
they're
want a team to go
constantly-
to,
and they're competing in the Champions League, so
Yeah.
they don't need to go anywhere. And then you do still have players like Kyle Havertz. You have many players that ship themselves out to the Premier League and do very well. So-
I'm never bought into the fact that you have to play in the EPL or you have to be this
No, but I don't consider Germany a lower level league. Is my point.
Correct.
So MLS is, the Brazilian league is, Argentina league is, the La Liga, Mexico La Liga is. You know what I mean? So yeah, you kind of need those players jumping somewhere into a better league. Does it need to be the Premier League? No, I don't think so.
Where would you, if you had a player to jump, what league besides the Premier League would you want them to jump into?
It depends on the player. It depends on where they're at with their career. I think if they're younger and want playing time, I would say Austrian League, Bundesliga.
Those
Belgium
aren't
league.
better leagues, though, right?
You know,
I was going to say, I
those
said
are-
better leagues. Like what is
Those are
this?
better leagues in MLS.
But
Yes.
what would you consider this? If it's not EPL, what's the second best league you want to join that can get you into that status?
I would say the Bundesliga is going to get you in that status. That's your
Okay.
springboard right there. I
Okay.
mean, you look at all the play. Where did Haaland come from? Where did De Bruyne come from?
Yeah.
Where did I can run down the list. The stars of the Premier League came from the Bundesliga. So, and that's where then Argentina would be, or not Argentina, sorry, Austria would be my secondary choice.
Yeah.
Because usually there's a gradual path from Austria or even Belgium into the Bundesliga. So if you're not good enough and you're like 17, 18, you could step in there. Again, it depends on age. If you're a player in who's older, again, just using MLS, if you're an American player who's older, and maybe you just stay there, because why, But if you're a younger player, you can take that risk. You can do that.
I don't know. For me, if Reyna was healthy, he's playing well, and if he was like, I'm staying at Dortmund for the rest of my career, and then I maybe finish my last few years in MLS, I would be fine with that.
sure.
I'd be like, I'm fine. You don't have to jump to EPL. I wouldn't be upset. If you're going to play in Europa League or UEFA Champions League, I am very content with that. But I'm just not the one of convincing that to be the best player in a World Cup or in national team that you need to jump and join into the EPL.
And that's
I know you could be just as effective, and I know that's probably very much an American way of thinking because Americans really have never really been that because there's only been a few, like 2 or 3, 4 maybe at once.
Sure.
But I am always in that you
So-
can't. Everyone doesn't have to play in the top league
No.
to be effective.
And you don't, and there are countless examples of players not playing in upper leagues or even playing for smaller clubs or even struggling for smaller clubs
Yeah.
and being studs
On
for
the
the
national
national
team.
team.
Yeah.
So from that aspect, you are correct. However, what you would like is your better players, or majority of your players, because if I think you look at the good national teams, the majority of the players play in upper level European teams.
True.
Absolutely.
True.
100%.
Yeah.
Now, anybody who does have a good World Cup, no matter what league you play in, Premiership teams are usually the first ones to snag those up, right?
Agreed.
I mean,
Agreed.
that's the way it works.
They're the ones coming to call in.
They have the most money, right?
Yes.
They have the most money in the world because of the TV rights.
Yes.
Speaking of national teams, there was a friendly that happened on Friday. The U.S. women's national team went to Wembley to play the England Lionesses. Very entertaining game. I watched the full 90 minutes. What a really entertaining game. I think it was a sellout crowd of 70-plus thousand, one of the biggest crowds to ever watch women's soccer. Very entertaining game. I don't want to say that America, because it was a friendly, well, as Nate calls them, glorified friendly. It was a glorified friendly.
Scrimmage.
It was a glorified friendly scrimmage. I mean, it was, but both teams did want to win. Both countries were going at it. They wanted to win. There was a controversial VAR call to cancel out the second goal that America scored, so no goal there. Did end 2-1 England. For me, America were dominated. The U.S. women's national team were outpossessed. They were outthought, out-hustled, outworked. Now, whether they cared about that or not, I do not know. They had 37-year-old Megan Rapinoe on the field. They didn't have some of the young studs like England did and fielded. So that's just kind of what it's a scrimmage. It's a scrimmage. It's a friendly game. Coaches were looking at different things. It doesn't really matter, but you could tell that the USA didn't expect to be punched in the teeth like they were. England were just passing circles around them. I don't know the final possession stat, and I know we here at We Are Soccer do not get into the whole stats thing too much, but 70% possession is a big chunk of possession.
Yeah.
But it was an interesting game nonetheless. A lot of people showed up. There was an interesting argument on the We Are Soccer Facebook group stating that if that game had happened over here in America, there probably would have been 30,000 people. What do you guys think? If that game happened here, major city, Los Angeles, Miami, LA, Chicago, do you think it gets 70,000 people, or do you think it's lower? What do you think?
That's a tough one.
Who cares? No, I'm serious. Who cares?
Well, the women's
Sweet.
teams care because they're into numbers. They are into.
This is how they get paid.
This is
Fine.
how they get
This
paid.
is- this is how the
Fine.
market-
This is how
Who's
they-
the market for the women's national team? Is it?
I'm in the market.
Are you in the
I
market?
watched.
Okay, so
I
you care?
watched. Yeah, I care.
Okay, so what's the problem?
Well, no, that's
What's the hypothesis here? Because I saw a comment and I thought it was a dumb comment. I'm sorry.
well, it's a good question. I thought it was a good question
No,
and a good
it's not.
thought.
When you pour money into a league and you pour money into players, you telling me the U.S. national team hasn't poured money into the women's game? Because that's a false statement.
Which they have.
Which they have.
We absolutely know they
That's
have.
We know they
an
have.
false
absolutely know they
statement.
have.
Now, could it be that the game is more mature in England and Germany, and that's why that maybe you have your attendance that are higher for these games, just like you do for the men's games?
It's fair.
Is that the correlation? This assertion that like U.S. soccer has failed the women's national team, I think is bullshit. And it's
I don't think anybody here is saying
well, no,
that.
that's
I
the assumption
agree.
that's going on, and I think that's ridiculous. I do. Now, could they do better? Absolutely, they could do better, and I think they started to do better. Part of that was, rectifying the deal that they had. Now, to say that was an unfair deal from the beginning, I also don't think that's correct either. At the time that the deal was signed, and it's been updated.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's,
Yeah, it has been
it's
updated.
similar to a third-string quarterback, right, who gets paid league minimum, and a starter goes out, and a second stringer goes out, and he's asked to play the first-string position and lights it up. He can't go back and say, well, you need to pay me $600 million now because I'm just a third stringer and now I'm a no. You make the deal that you base yourself on based on the marketability that you have. I can't tell you why the women's sports in general in the States fail marketability wise. I don't think this guy is in the demographic. Personally speaking, I'm more in the male graphic based on my age, based on my interest.
You
100%
are.
I can't really speak to that.
You 100% are
So-
in that. You're not in the demographic.
So I can't really-
But they're trying to win you over.
And that's fine. And I'll watch it, and that has nothing to do with it. That has nothing to do with anything. I'm just saying that I'm not their key demographic, right?
Yeah.
So why it fails, I don't know. I don't know why the WNBA failed. I don't know why they can't get people to show up. I don't know why women's soccer struggles. But I'm serious, okay? So this assertion that there's not effort put in, I think is kind of crap. And I think it diminishes what has been set forth and what actually people have tried to do.
Who are you saying that isn't putting the effort in? Us as consumers? Like, who's not putting the effort in?
That's the thing. I think the effort is put in. That's my point. And I don't know why it doesn't stick in our culture.
Yeah, there's an argument there, but I do think
You don't think the effort's been put in?
I think the English
Wait.
is further ahead.
How? Because of what?
They've established teams and a league that I think is doing a lot better over there.
No, they established a league and team, a men's league, 100 years before
Oh, absolutely, yeah, we know
and
that.
And they then just
Can't change that.
parlayed the last few years with the women's, all right? And they're still not playing in stadiums like you would think they would be playing in.
Oh, no,
right?
they're playing in 5,000 seat stadiums. Absolutely.
So they
They're not
already had
but-
Unless it's a big game.
Unless it's a big game like the
They already
US
had the
women's team.
infrastructure, and that's my point. MLS didn't have what...
Doesn't Arsenal women's team play in the Emirates?
20 years ago,
I don't think
MLS
so.
was playing
I think
out
they
of-
do.
20 years ago, MLS, majority of MLS teams were playing out of college stadiums. Am I
Yeah.
wrong?
I mean,
Am I
the
wrong?
Earthquakes were playing out of what, like San Jose State?
Right.
They were
and
playing
it's
at,
just
yeah.
recently, within the 5 to 10 years time frame,
That they
that's recent,
soccer specific stadiums.
that they have soccer specific stadiums.
Yeah, is either you play at a college field or you play in an NFL
men's
stadium.
sports, and I'm sorry,
Yeah.
this is just a general statement, are usually ahead of women's sports. I don't know why. I can't tell you why. I'm not going to guess why. I don't have the data to. But that is a factual statement across the board. So this idea that there isn't been effort and hasn't been things put in just because other countries who were already ahead in the sport that you have jumped ahead because of the infrastructure they already had doesn't mean that the U.S. hasn't tried. Paved the way, by the way. I think that the English, all those England teams should thank the USA team as they walk off the field.
Yeah,
because if it
everyone
wasn't for
should.
them,
Everyone
absolutely.
should. Everyone.
Because if it wasn't for them,
That
trailblazing.
99 team and then everyone else before, they set
Do you want to know
up
what
for
the
everything.
German national team, the women's German national team, got for winning their World Cup years ago? They got dining wear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, shit! I want some of that.
Yeah,
I would take
but
that
I'm
for
being
play.
dead serious, and so that's an insult to
It is.
to athletic
It is.
players.
They should get
All right?
paid.
They should have got paid,
Yeah.
and they didn't. And why? I don't know. You know what I mean? I can't tell you why. I'm not part of the DFB league to understand what the financial infrastructure and structure was there, but I guarantee they probably had the money floating around. Okay, so it's my tirade or annoyance is this assertion that the U.S. hasn't tried, at least, to promote their game. And I think that has been shown. Now, I will tell you, and I predicted this about 2 years ago when I was sitting at a coaching convention, that our women's team was going to be in very deep trouble. Very deep trouble. Because
Well, they kept with the same stars.
general statement, you either adapt and grow or you die.
Yep.
And something, I won't say what it was or who said it, that I heard out of this mouth of this person who apparently was a prominent coach within the program, I sat there and went, that's the wrong attitude.
Yeah.
Because all it's going to take is for these other countries to realize that there's an untapped market, money to be made, and that's all that's promoting this is untapped market money made, and I'm not criticizing that. It's a good thing. For them to go, hey, I'm going to dump some money in our program, and we're going to use what we have used to make our men's team successful, to make our women's team successful.
Sure.
And it's starting to happen, and it's been happening. And now, adapt or die, the U.S. women's national team needs to make drastic changes and improvements and start back on the right track, because they were ahead of the game, because no other countries took it seriously, just the way they are. Not saying that as an insult, it's just the way other cultures are. Sorry, I lived in other cultures. I know exactly how it was treated years ago.
Yeah.
It's now being treated very seriously because of the marketability and the money that can be made because of our U.S. women's national team.
Yeah. I think just a lot of, in my opinion, I think a lot of the MLS teams that have these NWSL teams that are one entity, I think in certain aspects, some of them just see it, well, we did it, we'll see how it goes, but they don't focus on the aspect of the women's team. They kind of have it, they let it run on its own, and everything's focused on the men's team.
Yeah,
and when you don't,
that's what brings in the money.
Yeah,
men's team.
but when you don't focus on both, though, and put the time and effort into the women's team, you've just, to me, you've just kind of started something, and now you're just going to bleed money because, you don't want to put any effort into it.
Right. Agreed.
And I want to say something just to make sure that I'm absolutely 100% clear, no one's taking me wrong with all the other statements that I've been saying on the beers that I haven't drank in months. I hope and pray for a very successful women's league within the United States. As a guy who has a daughter, 2 daughters, one who plays right now, one who hopefully shows prominent signs of playing, who are I'm very proud of. My daughter balled out on Saturday. She had a Craig Hearn type run with tricks and moves. No, it was good, man. It was good. We'll go into it later. But balled out. I want her to be able to turn on the TV and see identifiable people that she can call pros playing in front of 80 to 90,000 people. Why that's not happening?
I think all the women's players want that. I mean, I think all the players.
I want that.
I want it too.
As a male dad, I'm not a women's player. As a male dad of daughters who play the game, I want to see that. I would go to that. I would go to NWSL game if we had anything in the States.
Yeah.
I hope for that.
Yeah.
Chicago's
the closest one.
Why
I
that's
think,
not
I think
happening, I don't know.
Yeah, I think we all.
But I don't think
we want to
that
see bigger and better here.
The assertion it's not because that it's because of U.S. soccer not doing what they could do within their efforts, I think is false. Sorry.
I agree.
That's fair. I agree with that.
You guys see where the simple question of would the game have had more or less fans here in America took us, right? And several minutes down the road.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
More fans.
It was a good game.
England.
More fans. England won 2-1. Controversial offside call. Trinity Rodman put the ball in the back of the net. It was canceled out. It was a good game.
Yeah.
I was highly entertained.
Did they win the scrimmage?
They won the England won the scrimmage.
Did they win
England
the
won the
trophy?
scrimmage.
Sweet. How many World Cups did England win again? Thank you. Moving on.
Just wait 2 years.
It's coming home for the women.
Hold your breath.
It's coming home for the women before the men.
Home.
Yeah.
Hey,
Good for the Euros, actually.
I say
they
beat Germany in the Euros and dominated there. But then I've heard also because it was on English soil. Oh, blah blah blah. Anyway.
Yes.
Anyway. All right. In about 5 minutes, we're going to take our normal halftime break here and get a refill on beers. But we got a couple of things to sew up before we do that. I did want to kind of chat about the Man City 4-0 demolishing of Southampton. Again, Man City scored in like the first couple of minutes, put the game away. Erling Haaland gets the 4th goal. The dude is just on fire. The guy cannot stop scoring. It is unbelievable how good this man is. I believe they said if he keeps going at this rate, he'll have something like 62 goals for the season. He right now has 15 goals. The Golden Boot winner in the Premiership last year had 23. There was 2 players at that. So can we just give him the golden boot now and be done with it and say, okay, we're not counting your goals anymore? I do want to ask Nate and Brooks one thing. I'm sure they saw this. It was pretty funny. Someone on Twitter, someone online, the internet, which springs up some pretty funny things, said, listen, we all know that Erling Haaland is not playing in the World Cup, unfortunately. But each team should have the ability to summon Erling Haaland via helicopter so he can be dropped into the stadium and play for their team for 30 minutes. They get to summon him once. That would be pretty fucking cool, right? No, we don't want to talk about that? I thought it was hilarious. I could not stop laughing at this. It's a World Cup qualifying game, and the USA go, oh, shit, we need some help here. We need some help. This is it. All right, hold on. We're going to throw the fucking blue flag onto the field. The referee, yep, stop. All right, give it a minute. Here comes Erling Haaland. He's flying in, drops in. I think it's fucking awesome. What a cool idea. I couldn't stop laughing. No? All right.
I'm not.
We got deadpan. No,
Yeah.
it was obviously a joke, but
Individual players don't win games, Craig.
Yeah.
Unless
have
you're
you-
playing against Atletico Michigan.
have you heard of this Erling Haaland fella?
Have you heard this, Craig? Hey, how many times did you get around me today? Just out of curiosity. How many times did I yell, "Get away! I got this guy"?
You yelled that 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway.
Quarters and Craig Hearn is what I have in my pocket.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
Wait, I did get around you.
No.
You did. I think you did.
No.
I
got a
was
shot.
watching.
No, you
I got a shot off. I got
You
a
got
shot
a shot off that was nowhere going to go in.
that I misplaced. Hey, Nate, how many goals do you have?
I don't play forward.
Oh.
I have one job to do. Make sure you don't score.
Well, your team.
I was on the bench talking to Brooks.
He wants.
Your teammates.
I was on the bench talking to Brooks. It was like,
He wants 20 minutes.
yeah, we're in trouble.
It was a fun game.
It was
all
a
right,
good
guys, we got a lot to talk about on the other on the other side of our show here. We're going to bring the team of the week. We're going to talk for a couple of minutes about the Yates report. We can't leave that out. We got a lot of other stuff to talk about as well. Messi says he's done after Qatar 2022. We'll talk about the football's rich list. And just an FYI, Christian Pulisic became the 3rd American player to score 20 goals or more in the Premiership. That's pretty cool. And then we'll also talk about the Klassiker in Bundesliga chat time, which makes Nate happy. For now, I kind of want to show you a little video that Nate and I did this past week. Hi, I'm Craig Hearn, co-host of We Are Soccer.
And I'm Nate Janos, also the co-host of We Are Soccer.
We're here to talk to you about the 6v6 tournament that's happening at the Total Soccer of Novi, October 22nd and 23rd. It's going to be a great tournament, and it's super easy to sign up for.
It is really easy to sign up for. I signed up my team, and it took me like 2 minutes and 32 seconds precisely. Signed up, paid, all set, ready to rock and roll.
Wait,
You
signed a team up?
Yup.
For the 6v6 tournament happening in Novi, October 22nd and 23rd?
Yup.
You didn't mention that earlier. You're not in need of an extra player for your team, are you?
No, I recruited elite all-stars so I could win the whole thing. I'm not even playing. I'm just going to coach from the sideline and yell. Ooh.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, guys who we're just going to have fun.
Well, if anybody is in need of an extra player for the 6v6 tournament happening in Novi on October 22nd and 23rd, let me know. I can run for a few minutes, I guess.
Go away, darkness, my only friend.
tempo, yes, yes, drop out, good. Yes, touch, play, right foot, yes. Scan, good. Touch in, play, drop your hip, right, yes, good scan. Yes. Jay, well done. Get side on touch. Play, see it, yes.
All right, guys, welcome back to We Are Soccer. Still a lot to get to here. One of the things we got to talk about, and this is kind of sad to talk about, is the Yates report that came out this past week. The independent study that's come out on a lot of the women's leagues and a lot of the, for lack of a better term, the bad shit that's been going on in the NWSL, US soccer in general. I read a couple of pages, and then I had to put it down. It is not fun to read. I want to understand more about it, but essentially, it's a horrible thing to have to sit through and read, let alone be a part of. Right? The poor women who had to be a part of this, to deal with the mistreatings, the abuse, the misconduct by these coaches, male and female, and then have the clubs and U.S. soccer just push it away, neglect it, and not even acknowledge it. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. We need to do better as a society. We need to do better as a soccer community. We need to do better. This is a stark reminder because, as Nate said earlier, he's got 2 daughters who are going to be playing. I have a daughter who plays soccer. I hope Nate's daughters, I hope my daughter can get to the professional ranks and they can play and they don't have to deal with shit like this. It is... I don't want to talk about it too much more. There's a lot out there about it. If you want to know more, if you want to read it, go ahead and read the Yates report, but it's not easy reading. That first page just will throw you for a loop. I don't know if you guys want to say anything about it, but it is... it's a terrible thing.
For me, it's just... I think it was tough to read through. It was just... It's sad to see... And this isn't just in the women's professional game. There's, collegiate articles like the coach at the University of Toledo. There was that, and there's been, stuff in the youth game. It's just something that is not that should never happen. And this is something where if you see something, say something. In my opinion, it's something that needs to be taken care of and not ignored. Because we can't have young children walking around with essentially, people that, are sexual predators or pedophiles, and letting them make their way up through a system, like some of these coaches did, and they got into the places. I think it was crazy that the one coach didn't even have his pro license. He had, no licenses to, how are you qualified to do that? That's just irresponsible. To put someone, not only doesn't have his licenses, but he's been doing this for years and years and years, and no one's done anything.
And to the fact that it was then ignored by some.
Yes.
There's not other coaches out there. There's not better people to be doing this that won't do these bad things. I agree. Nate, you looked like you were gonna say something there.
No, I have no comment.
Okay.
Yeah. Just to finish up for me, it's for me it's all about protecting people and just being a good human.
Right.
And it's just why would you want to see someone else get hurt? And why would you want to ignore the fact that some other human being hurt another human being or did something that was disgusting to another human being? That's the issue I have with it. And I think sometimes in soccer it's too much of a club where we all want to protect each other and everything, but it's just being a human and having feelings, emotions, sensitivity to people, empathy, and doing something about it, and not just sitting back and watching. So, yeah.
Yep.
Nothing for you.
I hate talking about serious topics like this. I wish we could, every topic we had on the show could be debatable and fun and energetic, but unfortunately things like this happen. And as Brooke said, just be better human beings, be better people in the soccer community. Let's be better. And I really hope that we can get past this and learn from it and grow. Because it's not fun. It's not fun to read about. It's not fun to talk about, but it needs to be dealt with in a very strong way. And don't just fire these coaches. Don't just fire these people who ignored it and swept it in the rug. Put them in jail. Do what needs to be done. All right, we're gonna move on a little bit here. We're gonna talk about our team of the week. So every week we do a We Are Soccer, a Michigan Soccer Central team of the week. This week, if I can find it in my notes here, we have Casino High School. Cousin of. God, I've done that twice now.
Yeah.
Done that twice.
You just go with Casino on this one.
Yeah, go with Casino. I should.
That's what Nate would say.
I know.
Casino, and you just
We'll
just
pick
leave it.
Casino High School Boys Soccer Team of the Week.
Casino.
Yes, Casino. However you want to. You know what? Feel free to pronounce it however you want.
The French pronounce it Casino.
The French pronunciation. Congratulations to them as they win. They've been on a nice tear. I believe they're 8-5-3. They beat their rivals Warren Mott this past week. So congratulations to them. Good win. Well done, boys. You were nominated. 8-5-3 for sure. They beat Warren Mott 5-2 this past week. Cousino High School. Thanks, Brooks.
Yes.
Yeah, I knew we kept you around here for a reason, Brooks.
The French know.
Casino. Well done. If you would like to nominate a team for Team of the Week, please either hit We Are Soccer or Michigan Soccer Central up. DM us, tag us, send us carrier pigeon notes. We don't care. Whatever you got, send it to us. We will happily throw them in the hat for Team of the Week, and we have a weekly debate on who it will be. Runner-up this past week was Nate's U12 team. You guys scrimmaged the hell out of someone.
Listen, I keep promoting my U12 team because I believe in them. I think they're a great group of kids that I've coached. So I will keep on nominating them until they will get the nomination one day. Repetitively.
Yeah, I think it's great that they've come so far, even with a coach like you.
I think it's great. Listen, they should be Team of the Week because they have to deal with me on a weekly basis.
As long as we're all on the same page with that.
You have to deal with me once a week. They have to deal with me twice, possibly 3 times if we have games.
This is true. I dealt with you twice. Brooks and I dealt with you twice today.
Yeah.
We should be awarded those medals you got for bodybuilding because that's pretty tough.
They're big and they're gold.
The medals we're talking about,
Like
right?
legit gold?
Okay. All right. Just so we're on the same page there. All right. Let's jump in. I kind of want to talk about the Klassiker. Ooh.
Are we allowed to talk all Bundesliga, or do you want to spend all the time just talking about that?
No, let's talk all Bundesliga.
Oh,
let's talk all Bundesliga, but let's start off with Der Klassiker. So
I was going to end with the best, but if you want to start with the best,
you know what?
Did you have your fancy intro?
This is your Bundesliga chat time. We'll run it how you
it's
want to.
Bundesliga chat time, and we're on the beers.
We are on the beers.
With
We are on the beers.
Brooks and Nate. Brought to you by Beers. For when you want to look
beers.
sexy to yourself in the mirror, have some beers.
It's like an SNL skit.
Yeah.
Like the ones with Chris Farley and Adam Sandler.
All right,
So-
what do we got for Bundesliga chat time?
So
Nate?
I am
Let's
just
go.
happy. I am just happy that every one of the games that I said tune in and watch were fantastic games to watch. So the ones I picked out, Xabi Alonso, if you remember that cat.
Xabi Alonso,
Xabi Alonso
former
is-
Liverpool midfield star. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Liverpool midfield star.
Real Madrid.
Real Madrid.
Yep.
And
Yep.
Muchin is now the head coach of Leverkusen. After they fired Simeone, and because of a really poor start and a lot of money invested in the club. And first week against Schalke, 4-0. Murdering them on the way to 13 goal shots, 7 on target, and just making this team look really, really good compared to how they looked in week's end. So it should be nice to say. Funny thing about him is they did not, or it's been open that they said they did not hire him because he's a tactician, or they didn't really hire him because of his coaching prowess. They hired him to motivate the stars that they already have on the team. So it was just kind of interesting and how
Kind
that
of
went down.
a strange statement, right? We didn't
Yeah.
hire you because of how good you were or
No.
how good the tech.
No.
We hired you just to motivate
You're
the
a good
dudes on the
motivator.
No, but that was they're hoping the other stuff will be there, but the big selling point for him, because he was a Real Sociedad 2 coach, right? So he's never actually coached anyone in upper men's team. It was he's been a couple years just Real Sociedad 2, and La Liga 3, I believe. So it's not like he has this pristine resume.
Yeah.
They just felt that he could be the type of motivator to get some of these players that they've spent a lot of money on bringing in to actually perform. And so far, 4-0, scoring probably the most goals they had the whole year. And yeah, Schultz struggled, but still it was a good start. And it was a heavy attack side, and they looked really good. So
well done to Xabi Alonso and his
we'll see.
and his
We'll
side
see.
there. Yeah, Leverkusen.
1-1, Mainz versus Leipzig. Leipzig outplayed Mainz by most statistical measure.
I was upset. There weren't a lot of people there in that stadium.
No, it was quite empty. Not sure why.
Yeah.
Mainz scored first. Leipzig equalized with Nkunku. Gotta have a complaint here because when I wasn't here, there was some very side poo-poo talk from one Mr. Craig Hurd when I said Nkunku. Let me finish. When Nkunku, because Nkunku might be going to the Premier League, and he was like, was his exact quote. No, but this guy, middle of last year, Brooks.
Yes, he did say this.
Middle of last year, Brooks.
Yes.
When no one knew who the hell he was before he won Bundesliga Player of the Year, said it will be next year after the World Cup, his coming out party, that he will transfer. And do I look to be right? I was very specific about a player well ahead of anything happening.
Up and coming young star in Bundesliga.
No,
doing
he
well,
was
will
not
transfer.
up and coming at that moment.
We're gonna
At
go
that
back
moment,
and
he was
find
another.
this
He was
video.
another player in the Bundesliga at that moment, and I said, "Watch
Who was
this
the
guy."
other? Who was the other player?
What do you mean? Who was the other player? I don't know. Bellingham, Haaland, all those other cats that.
Sancho?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
but you remember this. Remember,
I
we
remember
had a
you-
conversation. You said, "Hey, I'm going to watch the Leipzig game. Who should I watch?" I said,
Yes.
Lamar. And I said, look out for that Nkunku because he's going to be a stud.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. It
So-
wasn't after he won the Bundesliga Player of the Year. It was when he was still kind of on the, just coming out and was just on the radar.
So how did he do this weekend?
He scored a goal. Anyways, which is interesting because there is that dynamic with Chelsea right now where there's a talk of a transfer. I think it'll be similar to the Pulisic deal where they sign something in January, but then he finishes out in Leipzig
100%,
and then transfers
100%,
over.
yep.
Which kind of, and I said this, even showed this in the chat, really spells doom for Pulisic and Chelsea because they're basically the same player, similar in age. Similar, I'd say Nkunku's
Stats
better.
actually, Nkunku's got better stats
Nkunku's
than
a lot
than
better
Pulisic
than
does, yeah.
Pulisic. So we'll
A
see.
better athlete.
Yeah. So
He actually might be, yeah.
Yes.
100%.
yeah, it's not good for him.
Bigger player, compared to
Yeah.
physicality.
Yep. Gladbach put on a show against Cologne. They decided after getting smacked by Bremen 4-1, I think, last week, or at least a full goal spread, that they pounded Cologne in their derby 5-2. My Stuttgart is outplayed Union Berlin, but still lost 1-0. Had a better match, and unfortunately, the American coach there, he's on the ropes. So the way the Bundesliga works is you have the first half of the season where you play everyone once, and then you have the winter break, and then you have the second half of the season. They have Bochum, they have Bielefeld in the Pokal, they have Augsburg, they have Hertha. They have yet to win a game. They have to win a couple of these games before the year end, or this guy will be fired. Yeah, it's what it's going to work.
And so
Now-
begins the Bundesliga merry-go-round.
Well,
culture.
this would be the third new coach. This would be the third new coach. If he gets fired, it would be the third new coach already within this year.
And then
Because-
Nagelsmann.
And then
So-
Nagelsmann goes.
And then
So
Nagelsmann.
Nagelsmann,
Predicting.
Yes.
end of the Klassiker. But you know the biggest winner of this whole weekend, before we get to the Klassiker, the biggest winner,
Who? You got to let me know. Now
the
you built
German
it up.
national team.
Explain.
All right. So you have Jack Hull, who is the Union Berlin center back who scored. You have Stindl, who's been looking good, who scored for Gladbach. You have Jonas Hoffmann, who had a pair of assists. You have Goretzka, who had a goal. You had Schlotterbeck, who had assists. You had Musiala, who looked good, had 2 assists.
Yeah.
You had Sain, who had a goal. And you had Furyk, who's now the top goal scorer within the the Bundesliga with 8 goals. all of these guys are in the mix within the German national team, all looking really good and performing months out before the start of the World Cup. So honestly, right now, I'm looking at the German national team with some of these players. Jamal Musiala, Schlotterbeck playing, Jonas Hoffmann. I mean, these guys are looking phenomenal right now, and they're really in form. So we'll see how it all puts together right at the end, not including even the German players who are playing in the Premier League. Put your hand down. Let's go to.
I got a question. All right, pick one player that the German national team needs to bubble wrap in cotton wool.
None of them, because they're all just fantastic. And they're strong, unlike your English team that's weak like glass.
So they won't lose to Japan in the World Cup.
No, they're just going to steamroll everybody. No, I think Jamal Musiala.
Yeah, Musiala is definitely the player.
is out there performing and doing things that if you had
that kid can play, man.
Yeah, Florian Wirtz.
Fun.
Florian Wirtz, who's been
He's really
injured.
good.
He's been severely injured and hasn't come back. If he was still healthy, you would have a good option between Wirtz and Musiala, where you wouldn't have to worry about that. Yeah. But I think Musiala should start over Müller in these games, and Müller, should be the backup. I think Musiala adds a lot better of a dynamic that you have.
How old is Müller?
He's like 34.
I want to say 34.
This is his last World Cup, I assume.
Absolutely. This will be his last World Cup.
I think he's a guy that you should just bring off the bench, to be honest.
No, for sure. That's what I mean. I think you need to give the reins to Jamal Musiala. Yeah. I think he proved it in their Klassiker, then we'll get on to that, which was by far one of the best matches I've seen all year in any league. Hands down.
Okay.
Was a great, great match. Two sides going at it with everything on the line. And you could even see the expression on Oliver Kahn's face when they drew, and that's now is my favorite meme. So on to der Klassiker. Craig?
Let's do it.
Brooks, you both saw the game. I know you did because we were talking about it.
Yep.
It's a good game.
What is your thoughts? And I will give you mine.
Game.
Man, talk about what an intense atmosphere first, just between those two sides.
Absolutely. What a good game. I tell you what, München looked like they could run away with it for a little bit.
Yeah, it did.
I thought they were going to really run away with it.
Early on,
Dortmund stepped up. But,
yeah.
Honestly, Bayern Munich, they could have run away. They should have. They absolutely should have.
They should
have. It's almost like the tail of their season here. They're missing shots on goal by inches or just a toe poke here or there, and they're winning 5-0. Instead, it's draws.
I can tell you the turning point of the game, and this is why I think Oliver Kahn was so upset. I think Nagelsmann...
Best meme ever now, by the way.
Yes, it is. I think Nagelsmann really screwed up his subs. So he had to sub Davis. It turns out he has some type of head concussion trauma.
Did you see him get kicked in the face?
Yeah,
oh my God,
he
dude.
is out.
And that was, he was trying to flick the ball, and his head was just in the wrong place.
And I get it. There isn't a replacement for him.
Yeah.
But putting then in Coleman and taking out Nagny and not shuffling your defensive line.
I think I would have stuck Kimmich back.
I would have kept. I would have brought Kimmich on there.
Yeah.
But it was clear what happened is Dortmund had the better subs. They brought in Adeyemi, who, by the way, is a German player, and by the way, could actually be really impactful to the World Cup at 18. And he absolutely torched that right-hand side, set it on fire. That's why Coleman had both of his yellow cards at red or the red card, because he could not keep pace with Adeyemi.
Yep.
And he had to foul him. And
that was a terrible foul, by the way. But
I question, just like you said, Brooks, if you would have kept in one of your defensive mids and not subbed both of them or one of them and put Kimmich out wide, which he has played before.
I would have just put him at left back.
Well,
he'd have been a suitable left back.
If you would have kept Sabitzer in, who wasn't the greatest, but at least kind of doing the job, and you could still sub Mane and put Kimmich in Mane's spot to help. That's where it went wrong. And I don't know why. I get De Ligt was on a yellow, but why you would sub him in a game even on a yellow of this importance is beyond me.
Yeah.
Because the last goal, who came from Modeste, Anthony Modeste. That I question if he's in that game, does he not clear that, because he is good in the air. Yeah. So I think he got the subs wrong, where Tardich for the Dortmund team got it actually right. Brought on Animemi, who just torched that right-hand side. Brought on Modeste to be a target player. And that was the turning point of the game.
And I can see this heat map here on who scored. It's just all down the right side for
yes,
Dortmund. It's
he
really heavy.
He murdered that right side. He came in and absolutely destroyed it because they saw Davies went out. Yeah. They saw the pace go out, and he brought in the pace.
Yep.
And that's honestly why I think Oliver Kahn was beside himself screaming, because you gave up a 2-0 lead through poor substitutions and poor game management.
Well, poor depth, too.
So, say what?
Poor depth. I mean, you don't obviously have a left back to replace Davies.
It's who you brought in, and I think you could have kept. I think you could have kept in your defensive midfielder and put in Kimmich out on that wide, and to neutralize that a bit, and instead of what you did. And the other thing is, I was looking at it. It's been Dortmund has not gained points off of München since August 2019 in the Super Cup. And then in league, it's been since November 2018.
Wow.
So this was like one of those where normally Munich is hands on the team that wins, and they needed to win.
Yeah. Because
they didn't move. They're in lockstep with Dortmund now on the table. They're sitting in third. Freiburg and Union are ahead of them. They both got points. Union got 3 points. Freiburg got 1. And they kind of screwed up their opportunities to move up the table here in an important match.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's in trouble. Nagelsmann is in serious trouble right now. And we'll see what happens.
Do you think he makes it to the World Cup?
I don't know.
Do you think he makes it to that point in time?
You know how you know you're in trouble? Mm-hmm. When everyone just comes out and publicly and say, yeah, I back the coach. Why are you having to say that you back the coach? Why are you having to say that? It's
always the same.
It's like, there's something bad going on when everyone has to come out and be like, Mane's coming out, oh, we back him. It's like, why are you saying that publicly?
Shouldn't have to say that.
No,
you do. But
no.
Guess what?
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah. So, right. I think the savings grace right now is that he's doing so well in the Champions League.
Yeah.
If he was doing average in the Champions League, he would be on serious hot seat.
Agreed.
So, we'll see.
Agreed. Well, thank you for another awesome Bundesliga chat time, Nate. Very much appreciated. Along with the Bundesliga chat time, we had our beers.
Yes.
Our beers from Germany.
Our German beers with our German Steins.
Yes.
Should we do some MLS roundup?
We should.
What about Bud Light? Should we bring out the Bud Light now? And I don't know what else now.
Yeah.
It's the MLS, so you bring out the inferior beers, but tasty.
Yeah, I like
and
Bud
light.
And light.
Yeah, I'm on a diet. I like Bud Light.
Oh, and then dump out that heavy wheat beer that I just gave you there.
Vorsteiner. Just like I used to have at the Carpathia Club back in the day.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Carpathia Kickers. Long time ago, I played for them. All right, let's actually talk about the MLS, because you know what? It's MLS playoff time.
Yes. Playoffs. MLS playoffs.
MLS.
It's parody and it's great and it's time for MLS playoffs.
If you want a team that's not the same team that won every year, like Premier League, it's MLS.
Or the Bundesliga with Bayern.
Shut up.
Yeah, you guys are not wrong. I did wear my Inter Miami FC jersey for a reason, because we are in the playoffs.
Yeah.
We are in the playoffs.
Is it the one?
Wait on. This is the team.
Yeah, no sponsor.
Yeah.
How awesome is that? No sponsor on the shirt.
Well, that was last year's.
I love
Nice.
it. Yeah, I did buy this year's shirt.
But
I'm too cheap for that.
Oh, but this is the team we both thought wasn't going to make the playoffs.
We both said this team will struggle this year.
Yes.
And they won't even get 10 wins. And they won
14.
They went into the playoffs. They won 14 games.
Yes.
They're in the playoffs. David Beckham is a magician.
Yeah. Or Paul.
And the smartest man in the world.
Or Phil Neville just is a really good coach.
Exactly. Why don't we put up the MLS playoff schedule?
Yes.
The bracket. Here we go.
Yes.
All right. First round, we've got LAFC with a bye. Then we've got number 4 seed LA Galaxy going against number 5 seed Nashville.
Yeah.
Number 3 seed Dallas going against number 6 seed Minnesota. And then down below, number 2 seed Austin FC versus RSL in the 7th spot. And then on the other side, we got Philadelphia Union with a bye.
Supporters Shield winners.
Yeah, good call.
Oh, no, wait. No, I think that was LAFC. No.
Oh, no, LAFC won.
You're
it.
right. No, Philadelphia did.
What? No. Supporter Shield? No.
On
LAFC
67 on LAFC. Nope. Oh, they did.
Yeah,
They
they
both
got
had
it.
the same points, but yeah.
I think officially they won it
Yeah.
last week.
They did. LAFC won it. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then we got New York Red Bulls versus Cincinnati with Pat Noonan taking Cincinnati up the chart there,
Yeah.
and he got into the playoffs. It's going to be a tough one, number 4 versus number 5. Cincinnati has had a good year, but they're still on the upswing there. It's going to take them a little bit of time. I do like what Pat Noonan has done there. Good for him. In the other bracket there, we've got NYC versus Miami. Yeah, I'm going to say Miami's going to win that one, even though they're the 6th seed against the 3rd seed. Then we got number 2 Montreal versus the number 7 seed Orlando.
Yes.
So listen, Brooks, MLS playoffs are here. Who is your surprise right now? Who did you think wasn't going to get in but did get in? What do you like about this bracket here? What don't you like about the bracket?
Yeah, so let's start with surprises. So obviously Inter Miami for me was the surprise. I didn't think that they would get into the we get into the playoffs just based on all the sanctions that happened with them. The reduction, the DPs, you know what I mean? There was just so much that was just that just got hit with at once, and that's just really difficult to just deal with.
They had a big obstacle to overcome right there, and they did it.
Correct.
I mean, amazingly.
Correct. So okay, that's the surprise. I mean, can we talk about Cincinnati and what Pat Noonan's done? For sure. I mean, this was a team that was in disarray.
Yeah.
Going through a couple different coaches, great crowd, great fans, just wasn't getting it done in the field. Pat Noonan comes along with Chris Albright from Philadelphia. They change it. They do a little different. They add some players, and they found a way to win. So kudos to FC Cincy. Honestly, on the Western Conference side, I mean, I'm really not surprised by anyone. I mean, we're talking about, a team in LA Galaxy. They just missed the playoffs last year. Nashville was a little higher seed last year, but we knew they could win. They could see out games. We knew they drew a lot last year to get in the playoffs and make it up the table. But LAFC. A little redemption, maybe not doing as well as last year as they wanted to, but, coming through and win the Supporters Shield and coming out as the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. RSL sneaking in, sneaky RSL, Pablo Mastroeni, give that man all the credit. It's a team that's gone through, change in ownership. I'm sure some of these guys are probably wondering, am I going to have a job next year? You're playing for your job next year. So, that was huge. And I guess big surprise we talked about was probably Dallas, right, from the Western Conference.
Yeah, they finished almost dead last in the league.
They did, and Austin did too.
Now
but,
third.
To see
team.
those teams from Texas in the 2 and 3 spot were huge. So, so those are some of the surprises and just the ones that that maybe we figure we get in, but. If we just kind of go down let's start with the Western Conference. So let's set that 4-5 seed with LA Galaxy, Nashville. So that's going to be always a tough one to play in LA. Nashville has to go all the way out, and they're going to have to play 2 games in LA if they win. So, it's never easy to go into what was StubHub, which is now like an Herbalife. I think that's what they call it. They're sponsored by
Herbalife.
Herbalife now.
Changed that name too.
Yeah. It's never easy to go out there and play, and you have a team with Chicharito Hernandez who's found his game again, and
Second wind is a...
Exactly. Carvajal, I mean, Jonathan Bond has been good. You have a guy like Julian Araujo, who's an up-and-coming guy that's been linked with European moves, and, Douglas Costa that's playing there as well. So, I mean, this LA Galaxy team can be very dangerous, but this Nashville team is very tough to break down.
Yep.
And it's a very good defensive team, and they have big guys. They get stuck in. They're maybe more direct than they do play through, but I think this one's gonna be a very close one, and I think it's gonna come very much down to the wire. You're not gonna see a runaway game in this 4-5 matchup.
That's what we want to see. No,
Yes.
That's 4-5, right? I mean, 4 versus 5.
Yeah.
Two very teams that are similar. So
Exactly.
Yeah, that'll be a close one. Hopefully, I'm pulling for Nashville. I want to see Walker Zimmerman continue playing, and I want to see him and lead that Nashville team over LA. I want to see that Nashville LAFC matchup.
I think a lot of people do, but a lot of people
Yeah.
want to see El Trafico in the
Yeah,
playoffs.
another version of the El Trafico.
Yes.
Everybody loves that rivalry.
Yes.
Agreed.
Oh, Brooks.
Yes.
Michael would like to know who's going to win it all.
Ooh.
Oh, well,
Put your money where your mouth.
Put your money
well,
where your mouth
I'm
is.
getting it. I'm getting there.
No, just one. Don't get there. Go.
Now?
No,
Whatever.
let's walk through. And
We're
then
walking
I do
through it,
want-
and then I'll answer Michael's question,
Yep.
because it is a very good question.
Mr. Michael Tyson in
Yes.
the comments again.
He wants
So
cut
that-
right to the chase.
I know, yeah. So that 3-6 matchup with Dallas and Minnesota, that's an interesting one. If Dallas isn't careful with that one, that could very much be a trap game. I know I call Minnesota the Boo Birds. They want to complain. Oh, everyone hates us. No one likes us. That's the thing that Adrian Heath likes to go with. We're the underdog. Dallas has to be careful with that one because Minnesota can turn it on and surprise teams. And they did it a few years ago in the playoffs where they got to the Western Conference Finals where they were beat by Seattle. So
home game there for Dallas.
Exactly. And, good acquisition with getting Leggett, Areola, playing a lot of the young players. I mean, I saw Paxton Pomacco and Jesus Ferreira played 100 games. This was today they played 100 games for FC Dallas. They're homegrown players doing well with a veteran like Matt Hedges in the back line with some of the guys the college guys they've drafted like Tumasi and Nkosi. Turn them into solid backline players. So and then getting a guy like Velasco, which is one of your top DPs that can score you goals, can cut inside, can shoot, can do well in the final third. So I mean I think Dallas has this one, but they really have to be very careful with Minnesota. And I think this 2-7 matchup, Austin and RSL, is a very interesting one. Last year we talked about RSL and them being very dangerous, and they got hot at the end. And when you get hot at the end, just like you do in the NCAA tournament for basketball, anything's possible. It was a big win for RSL today against the Portland Timbers at home, beating them 3-1. They've got momentum going in. Austin has been sitting in that top spot. Kudos to them. But RSL and Pablo Mastroeni could pull off the upset. So that's going to be a very interesting one in that 2-7.
Just want to know why my Austin FC is going to win it all.
Why?
Yes.
Because of Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's it.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
why.
All
That's
right.
Oh,
You're
Drusi and Diego Fagundes too.
And they have a really nice stadium.
They do. They do have a very nice stadium.
Very good.
So, are we going to go through and just create predictions now?
I want to see. Honestly, if folks out there are thinking they're going to only be able to watch one game out of the first round here,
In the Western Conference?
Yep.
So we'll go through each conference, okay?
what game?
Because this year we're doing a playoff bracket again, right?
Sure. Yeah,
Okay.
Let's do it.
All
I
right.
like it.
Yeah. The one game I would be interested in is that 4-5 matchup
Yep.
with Galaxy and Nashville.
Absolutely.
I think that is the one you want to watch, 3 p.m. It's on Unimas, so that's wonderful. So it's not the one on FS1. That was the one I was going to go with Dallas and Minnesota. But I would definitely say that 4-5 matchup.
Yeah,
that's
that
the one.
Nashville LA Galaxy game is going to be
Yeah.
fire.
Yeah.
Fire.
In your opinion, the amount of money that LA has invested,
Yeah.
LAFC, it's got to be like absolute shambles if they don't win it all, right?
This year?
Yeah.
Not so much this year.
I mean, they really got a good deal for Gareth Bale, to be honest with you. He's not a DP player. He's not being paid DP money.
But then the Count Costa.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good trade with that they made.
Plus
They got
what they already had, right?
But they don't forget, they've really shifted with that team. They've traded away a bunch of players to get the players they can acquire.
I think the star players they have, right? Bale,
Yes.
Vela.
Yeah.
I think the disappointing
Costa.
part for LAFC has been is how can Bale and Vela coincide on the field with each other, because they're very similar players in the way they play because of the old age.
Yeah.
They're not, play wide, I'll take the guy wide, and take the guy on 1v1. They want to come inside the game a lot. They want to get as close as they can to goal, to combine. So, and that's what we kind of saw. What was the Portland LAFC match? I think they interviewed Cherundolo, and they asked, "Is this your best 11 going tonight against Portland?" He's like, "I think it is," and that was with not Gareth Bale or Chiellini in the lineup, in the starting lineup. So,
All right, let's jump to that Eastern Conference there.
Yeah.
The Union number 1 seed get a bye.
yes,
And then the next matchup there, we got the 4-5 Red Bull
yeah.
versus Cincinnati.
So I think that's an interesting one because they're teams that probably don't play the sexiest soccer, right?
Right.
But
Down and dirty.
yes, and I don't think people thought Red Bull were going to finish as high as, in the top 5. So and it's in New York, and it's very difficult to play in Red Bull Arena. It's not going to be easy, especially if Red Bull and their fans come and they, they're packing the house. So
Sure.
Cincy, I think this is the time it's going to be interesting to see if they are the team that we think they are.
Ooh, I like
That
statement.
they can win a playoff game and do some damage. Maybe not win MLS Cup this year, but upset some teams where they beat maybe NYRB, and then they give Philadelphia one hell of a game where maybe Philadelphia squeaks by. But then you're thinking to yourself, next year, few acquisitions, FC Cincy's looking interesting. So personally, I thought when they drafted Roman Celentano, I didn't like that draft
I
pick.
remember us talking about that.
I did not love that draft pick, and boy was I wrong. I mean, it was very much an IU draft pick because Pat Noonan went there, and I wasn't sold on Celentano after he didn't have a great year like he did in 2021, or 2020 when they made it to the to College Cup final. But man, he stepped in, and Celentano's done well. You had a guy like Matt Miazga who's added some stuff, and then Brandon Vasquez just kind of coming out of nowhere. I mean, he didn't do well for Atlanta United when he was there. They let him go. He goes to FC Cincinnati, and boy, he's scoring goals this year. So that's been a nice piece they've gotten, FC Cincy. So I mean, they're really relying on what he's going to do with Luciano Acosta, obviously the creative playmaker in the midfield they have. So, let's see what damage FC Cincy can do. But that 4-5 matchup's interesting. Now, on to NYCFC versus Miami.
It's got to be Miami, right? Miami takes it. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right.
I don't think so.
Winners.
I don't think so here.
Oh, no.
I don't think so
I don't like where this
because
is going,
you're
bro.
playing in Yankee Stadium.
Oh,
Okay, if it is there,
cold.
if you're playing, because that could be moved to New York Red Bull Stadium depending on, because I think the Yankees are in the MLB playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. So there's going to be some game dependency on that one. But
yeah, good
if
point.
you're playing on that baseball field,
Oof.
the advantage is going to New York City FC because they play there a lot. It's smaller, it's condensed. All right, the field's maybe not as even. All right, so that is going to be a tough game for Miami to go in and win. So for me, that's an interesting matchup. The 2-7 matchup. I mean, I watched Orlando-Columbus today. Orlando came back and won 2-1 against Columbus. Orlando has some pieces that they can create upsets with, but Montreal has one hell of a year. Wilfred Nancy's done one heck of a job this year in Montreal for a team that didn't make the playoffs last year, and now that was a top 2 team in the Eastern Conference. He's got them playing. He's got them defending. They're scoring goals. He's got a good mixture of international players, the Canadians, and a few Americans. This is going to be interesting. So, on to my picks here.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. So, 4-5 NYRB Cincinnati. I'm going to say Cincinnati gets the upset here.
You think Cincinnati pulls the upset? Ooh,
Yes.
I like it.
I think so.
like it.
Yes. NYCFC Miami. I think Miami season's done. It was good to get into the playoffs, but New York City is not letting that one go.
Okay.
Okay. And then I think Montreal beats Orlando.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
But if I had to watch one match, I'd watch that NYRB Cincinnati, which is on Unimas again.
Unmas.
I like watching games in Spanish.
Mouth, the answer. All right.
Yeah.
Lots of playoff fun coming up in the MLS. So,
Yes.
Brooks, thank you again. MLS Roundup for this
Yes.
week has concluded.
Yes. Oh, I didn't answer his who wins it all.
That's right. I think you
Come on.
answered it last week, right? The Union.
Well, that's what I thought. I thought it
could
to me it was Union FC Dallas in the final, and I think it's Philly's year to win
I
this year.
think you're right. Austin FC will definitely win it this year. Good job.
Wow.
Oh, Miami.
Shut up.
Miami.
Austin FC.
So you're going with Austin, I'm with Philly, and you're with Miami.
I'm only going with Austin because
I'm not putting money on it.
I fell in
No.
love with Austin when I was down there, and I thought their stadium was wonderful. So.
Well, when you see our brackets in our bracket challenge, and we do more in-depth analysis on this, we will.
we will have
Yes.
Listen.
Let's do
As
the brackets
all
here.
bracket challenges go for this guy, my expert statistical analysis of the heads, this is this team, and tails, this is this team, coin flip will go into it, and I will dominate both of you with that.
You'll probably end up winning.
Yes.
All right, we also do want to say a very big good luck to Amalia Villarreal and the U17 women's national team who kick off this week in the U17 World Cup against hosts India. Yes, the U17 women's national team is playing in the World Cup, and it is in India. They kick off this Tuesday, I believe it is, at 10:30 a.m. All games on Fox Sports 2.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, hey, Fox Sports 2, women's soccer, local girl, Amalia Villarreal.
Yep.
That is, Nate, you said it 2 weeks ago. Historic.
It is historic.
It
Yep.
is
And I
absolutely
will
historic.
definitely be watching
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
it'll be a good match.
Yeah.
And
And they
look
play
forward
Brazil
to
the second day on the 14th. That would be a really good one.
Yeah.
It's going to be the tough
it.
one.
Sorry to hear Brazil about your loss,
To Amalia, who's going to
To
score
Amalia.
6 goals.
bitches.
Again.
Maybe learn to play.
Oh,
Booyah!
that is awesome. Also, tomorrow brings a big EPL matchup. Nottingham Forest.
Never heard of them.
They have won a European Cup.
Oh, okay, more than Man City. Okay, got it.
Exactly.
No, just kidding. I saw that movie.
They have a lot of Monday games, Nottingham
Yeah,
Forest.
Yeah.
They do have. a
Did
lot
they
of
play on
Monday
Monday
games.
last week?
I think they did actually.
Nottingham Forest probably isn't playing a good team on Monday. I would
They're
imagine
definitely
that
not.
they're
They're
playing a
playing
really bad. Oh, what? Who?
Oh
Never heard
God.
They're not relegated yet.
Oh God.
Hey, you know what's funny is my team's shit too. Yeah. Stuttgart and Villa just battling it out for League Two supremacy.
Oh God. So when I go home, I don't want to say kick the dog, but when I go home in a bad mood, it's because Villa probably lost. But this is a must-win game for Villa actually, because right now Steven Gerrard is under pressure and he needs wins.
Those could be awesome is when both our coaches get fired on the same week. And just like your dog, my cat pisses all over the basement. So, just like our teams, just like cat piss. There's everywhere. Smelly and sticky, and nobody likes it.
Oh God, I'm not looking forward to that game tomorrow. I'd rather clean up cat piss, to be honest.
It's not fun. Anyways.
It is not fun. Another big congratulations to Eric Bowman, who is the closest to. I don't know how to say this actually. He won the sticker prize pack. I saw him today. I should have given him to him. He
What is
played in
this?
the game. Our buddy Eric Bowman, who played Four-Stroke City.
Yeah,
He won that with. He answered closest to the question of 94 goals was the answer of how many goals did I score in.
But he
high
gets
school.
96.
He gets 96.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we were playing Price's Right rules, he would have lost.
Yeah, he would have lost. There was a
Yeah.
couple. There was 96.
You know what? You guys
98.
can all eat it. I like Bowman. I'm glad he won. You bunch of naysayers over here.
I'm not nice.
No, take God, asterisk. F off.
We didn't play
Good job,
Price's
buddy.
Right rules.
It said just closest, and he won closest. Local soccer
These
team,
guys.
Detroit City FC, who play in USL Championship. Next game, Saturday, October 15th, 4 p.m. at Keyworth. For anybody in the Metro Detroit area, get down to Keyworth Stadium. It is season ticket holder appreciation night. So if you're a season ticket holder, you get to bring a friend.
Oh man, I wish I knew some friends. If you're a season ticket holder and you're interested in being my friend and taking me, my phone number is 248.
You propositioning people?
Yes, I need friends! I'm a nice guy. I buy beers. You guys have the beers.
Yes.
I might be a little annoying, but once you drink the beers, it all makes sense.
Isn't your wife your friend?
No, she hates me. Are you kidding me? I'm here.
I thought when you marry your wife, she's your best friend.
No! She's at home with 2 sick kids, and she absolutely despises me right now that I went out and did
I've
all
been
this
lied
bullshit.
to all my life.
Because you went and played
Two
soccer games today.
doing this shit.
and then you're coming in the soccer
Yeah,
show, so
you think
yes.
no, and I'm just an idiot that does dumb shit. Like if I was smart, I would not be here. I'd be at home doing responsible stuff, not being a jackass. But instead, I'm a jackass. I don't know what to tell you.
No one is arguing with you there.
Yes. So
All right.
if you want to be my friend and take me to these things, it's 248.
I wouldn't do that. but you
Put
do
me in the
whatever you
DMs.
want.
DM me. I need friends. I buy beers. I buy friendship.
Listen, I would take
I
you
will.
for beers.
I mean, I tried with Craig. I only took him so far until we played against each other, and I told everyone to leave me alone as I destroy him and threatened his life and ankles at the same time. Might have took it a little bit too far. Admittedly, I was in the moment. All right? You know?
Twisted you like a pretzel.
Oh, how dare you that didn't happen. That's
Like a
fake
German
news.
pretzel?
A delicious German Schwäbisch pretzel? Then I will be twisted all day.
Schnitzel. All right, boys. We're going to jump onto our last topic of the day.
Just so everybody knows, we did not talk about some red team from Manchester today.
It's in his head. He can't even just let it go.
I
But
do-
they won. Who cares?
I do want to say,
Hey,
though,
by the way, they're 1 point out of like being in the Champions League too.
yeah, but
Yeah.
the big thing was
Yeah.
Ronaldo scoring, coming
No
on.
one gives a shit.
That's a 700 career
Yeah,
club
whatever.
goals. That's a huge feat.
Came on for an injured Martial.
Yeah, came on. That is a huge feat. It was a very well taken goal, by the way.
Oh yeah.
But I do want to get to one of the topics we kind of teased with. For the last, 10 or 15 years, one Ronaldo, who scored his 700th career league club goal today, and one Lionel Messi have been at the top of this list.
Never heard of the latter, but go.
Never heard. Who do you think is at the top of the rich list for the 2022 and 2023 season? This is before agents' fees, and this is through Forbes, their annual rankings.
Mbappe.
You got it. You
Yes.
nailed it. Mbappe is
I didn't even look at the
number
list
one
either.
with 128 million. So this year, the 2022-2023, Mbappe before
Cheated,
agent
didn't he?
fees, will earn $128 million.
You know, honestly, I was hoping it'd be like Sadio Mane because like he's basically like building a village with like all of his money.
I know.
He
does
is.
such
He
good
donates
stuff.
a lot of his money.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
He does such good things with his money. That's Sadio Mane.
Who's two?
I agree.
Neymar?
Huh?
Who's number 2? Neymar?
Oh, that's a great guess, but you are completely wrong. Number 2 with 120 million earned
So-
this year,
Grealish?
Messi.
Oh,
So,
Messi is.
so
Messi.
Michael wants to know.
Yeah.
Well, he said Grealish is number 1, but where is Grealish since that's brought it up?
Grealish is number 1 in my heart.
Yeah, and like number 1 on the bench for City. Like, keep going with this like thing that you have. Like they bought him to do the and that's why they never play him. It's strategy.
Champions League game this past week. Man of the match.
Who they play? A team that didn't matter.
Jack Grealish.
Who?
Man of
What
the
team
match.
did they play?
That's
Who
okay.
they play?
Can't remember off the top.
Yeah, is it some team?
Haaland scored. Foden scored.
Yeah.
Man of the match, Jack Grealish.
Cool.
Just
It was
saying.
just some team you never heard of, and
Yeah,
that's why
pretty
they
much.
rolled out some guys to get breaks.
Rich list.
When is he
Killing
going
the
back to?
Mbappe.
Yeah, what's the top 5 or
next
10?
year.
When is in like League 2?
Let
Is he
him
going
read the
back
top
to-
Yeah, you
5.
should.
I'm curious.
Who top?
Is he in the top 5, Jack Grealish?
No. Just read the top 5 or 10
okay.
or whatever the list
So
is.
Kylian Mbappe with 128 million. 120 million is Lionel Messi. 100 million is Cristiano Ronaldo.
Okay.
And then at number 4, some fella named Neymar. And number 5, Mo Salah.
Ah.
All right,
Never heard
so
of any of these players.
we've got PSG, Man United, PSG.
Oil money.
And then Liverpool.
Can you say oil money?
Yes, we can.
And here we go. Number 6, Erling Haaland. Number 7, Robert Lewandowski.
Mm.
Number 8, Eden Hazard. Didn't see that one coming.
Real
to be
Madrid,
honest.
huh?
Did not see that one coming.
Yeah, didn't he
They
sign
pay him a lot of
Lukaku?
money.
They gave him a shit ton.
They
Gave
did
him a lot
when they
of
bought
money.
him from Chelsea.
I didn't see that one coming, though. Number 9, Andreas Iniesta.
Did he retire?
Coach?
Yeah. How?
Oh, no.
Do
Like,
they still owe him money?
They still owe him money.
No.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
still paying him.
That's bizarre. That's bizarre.
Did he end like in some obscure country though?
Qatar?
For some obscure club
China
that
or
they
something.
just like
He went
yeah,
to China.
they
Yeah.
pushed in a bunch of money. He was probably guaranteed with it.
Yeah.
Probably out clause where if I retire, you still have to pay me.
Yeah. That one blew my mind.
Who's number 10?
Number 10, rounding out the top 10, Kevin De Bruyne.
Oh.
In total,
So 2
The-
City guys on that list.
yeah, in total, the 10 highest paid players, are expected to collect record earnings worth $652 million this season, which is up 11% from last year.
So I love how PSG has 3 of the top 10, but they don't win dick.
Yeah, I really don't see them winning anything.
I just think it's funny. Like,
Well,
you
they'll
paid...
win the French league, right?
But that
So-
doesn't mean anything.
Does that count for
How
anything?
dare you?
Does that count for anything? No.
Oh,
Sponsor croissant.
It's all about
Chocolat.
it's all about the the Champions League.
Viva
which
la
they will not win.
France. There you go.
So, anyway, all right, boys, that's gonna round us off for this Sunday evening, October 9th. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Very much appreciate it. Do us a favor, guys. If you can, give this video a like and share it. And then, no matter where you're listening, podcast, whether you're on Apple, Google, or Spotify,
Yes.
do us a favor. Give us a thumbs up. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Even if it's bad, we like a little bit of feedback. Know how we can get better. This week was our We Are Soccer show was brought to you by beer.
Yes.
Yes.
Beer and some pizza.
And you know what? If you could get actually some drink sponsors,
Ooh, that would
we
be
would
good.
we would then push
Yes.
the hell
Could
out
be
of
sparkling water or it could
that.
be
or
alcohol.
beer or
Or liquor.
Beer.
because liquor is low on carbohydrates and makes me look lean.
And I like bourbon, so there you go.
Oh,
there you
vodka
go.
is
All right.
solid.
All right, boys, that's going to wrap us up. Everybody who was online and joined us, thank you for watching. We very much appreciate it. And for the boys at the kids' table and me,